Bristol Community College, Mathematics with Dan Avedikian, Math 132, Calculus with Applications, Section 12.3, Problem 13. This is Section 12.3, Problem number 13. It says, find the equation of the line that is tangent to the function f of x equals, in parentheses, 3x squared minus 11, close the parentheses, to the fifth power, at the point where x equals 2. And there's a hint that goes with that. The hint says, when a line is tangent to a function, it touches the graph of the function at just one point, and the tangent line has the same slope as the graph of the function at that one point. So you have a graph of a function, a straight line that touches at one point, and at that one point the straight line and the curve, the function graph, has the same slope. And it goes on, since the tangent line is a straight line, you can use the formula y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1 to find the equation of the tangent line. That's the formula used to find the equation of all sorts of straight lines. So we're going to fill in the formula for the equation of a straight line, which is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And we have to find the number value for the y1, a number value for the m, or the slope, and a number value for the x1. Now, the function that's given for this problem, f of x equals 3x squared minus 11 in parentheses to the fifth power, and it says when x equals 2, so at the point where x equals 2. So the question is basically telling us the x value to put in for my formula for the equation of a straight line. So minus x1, I have x minus 2. So that part is given. Now I need to find the y coordinate that goes with that x of 2, and I can find that by putting a 2 in for x into the function that's given. This function, whatever I put in is the x, what I get out is the y. And once I do the derivative, whatever I put in is the x, and what I get out is the slope. So for the function, no prime, no derivative, f of 2 equals 3 times x squared is 3 times 2 squared minus 11 to the fifth. And then you have to do the 2 squared first. That's going to be 3 times 4 minus 11 to the fifth. And then 3 times 4 is 12. So in the parentheses, 12 minus 11 to the fifth. And now 12 minus 11 is 1. So I have 1 to the fifth. So 1 times itself 5 times. 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. 5 ones multiplied together. The result is 1. So that's the answer, the 1. What that means is that's the y that goes with the x of 2. So if I was plotting the graph of the function that's given in this question, if I go over 2 up 1, I would hit the graph of the function. So y minus y1 becomes y minus 1. Because when I put in a 2 for x, I get out a 1 for y. So what's left to find is the m, the slope. So it's the derivative that tells us the slope. So to find the derivative of the function in this question, I need the chain rule. The chain rule says when my function is some stuff in parentheses to a power, which is what we have, stuff in parentheses to a power. The derivative, f prime of x, you get when you take the power and bring it in front of the parentheses, leave the power the same, leave the stuff the same, close the parentheses, reduce the power by 1, and then multiply times stuff prime, the derivative of what was in the parentheses. So, for this particular function, f of x equals, the n that I'm going to bring down in front is 5. And I have some parentheses. The stuff is 3x squared minus 11. Close those parentheses. The exponent on the parentheses, n minus 1, this 5 is n. 5 minus 1, my new exponent's a 4. Then times stuff prime. the stuff prime will just be 6x. Now where that's coming from, the 3x squared, the exponent of 2 comes down times the number in front, which is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. X to one less power, that second power drops down to a first power. The minus 11 has no x with it, so its derivative is 0. So the stuff prime is just. So there's my derivative. F prime of x equals 5 times 3x squared minus 11 to the 4th times 6x. This will tell me the slope everywhere on the graph of the original function, including the point when x is 2. So what I'm going to do is put in a 2 for x in my f prime, and I'll know the slope when x is 2. So f prime of 2 equals 5 times 3x squared becomes 3 times 2 squared minus 11 to the 4th. Then times 6 times x becomes 6 times 2. And now we'll start to simplify that. Wherever I had an x, I put in a 2. And now we start doing the math. So the 5 in front will stay in front for a while. 3 times 2 squared will be 3 times 4. Then you have minus 11 to the 4th. Times 6 times 2 is 12. So f prime of 2 equals 5 times, in parentheses, 12 minus 11 to the 4th. But I had 3 times 4 in the line above it. 3 times 4, there's a 12. Minus 11 stayed, the 4th stayed. And then times 12 at the end. Then f prime of 2 equals 5 times 1 to the 4th times 12. Well, 5 times 1 to the 4th times 12 multiplies out to be 60. So that's the slope when x is 2. That's my m. So the equation of the tangent line is y minus 1 equals 60 times x minus 2. And that is the answer. We can clean it up a little bit to put it into y equals mx plus b form. You don't really have to at this point, but it's easy enough. Y minus 1 equals, clear your parentheses, 60 times x is 60x. 60 times minus 2 is negative 120. And then bring the 1 over to the right side so it'll be solved for y. So y equals 60x. The 1, when it's on the left, is a negative 1, so when it comes to the right, it'll be a plus 1. So negative 120 add positive 1 is negative 119. So that's the equation of the tangent line in simplified form, y equals mx plus b form. The equation of the tangent line is y equals 60x minus 119.